I'll admit, I take being able to clean our clothes at home for granted sometimes. Do you? It's nice, so nice not having to pack up dirty laundry like I used to when I rented apartments and go get it cleaned somewhere else. But there's millions of people that unfortunately don't have that luxury. Now, in the past, the laundromats that we used really they had an adequate supply of washers and dryers. But the thing is, they did not have any personalized professional help. Now, when you think about it, this fact alone makes them a very interesting business opportunity since it's possible really to run this type of business more as a side hustle than anything else. Now, I'm always up for learning about new income producing opportunities that can produce cash flow while also limiting my time involved. Now, if you're contemplating adding any additional passive income streams, then you may want to consider the laundromat business because, hey, we all have to have clean clothes, right? Now, if you're new to this channel, I'm Dr. Jeff Anzalone, a periodontist and real estate investor that wants to help you grow multiple streams of income without having to trade your time for money. Now, if you haven't already grabbed the copy of the free passive income guide that I created, click the link below this video because I did it just for you. Now, whenever I make any major decisions in life, I always like to list out the pros and I always like to list out the cons that are involved with that decision. So, for your pleasure today, I've done just that, as you can see behind me, regarding whether or not you should possibly invest in a laundromat. So, let's start off with the pros first. The first pro of owning a laundromat, as you can imagine, is having a reliable stream of passive income coming in. Now, owning a laundromat, it can be a nice, reliable stream of income. Reliable due to the fact that most people tend to wear their clothes more than once and will continue to do their laundry. Number two, potential for additional revenue streams. Now, sometimes it takes, whenever we were doing our clothes at laundromats and other places we were renting, it could take 2 or more hours for us or for other people to complete their load or loads of clothes. So they'll typically will wait on the premises. Now, this in itself provides laundromat owners a potential for, you got it, additional revenue streams while also helping provide their customers with extra value. Let me give you a couple examples. You could have vending machines, food, beverages, etc. Entertainment, you could have Wi-Fi, coffee, sodas, different things like that. Things that will occupy them, video games, anything like that that you could also, again, benefit from additional revenue streams while providing your customer value for waiting in your laundromat. Number three, there's actually a minimum amount of inventory needed. Now, a laundromat doesn't need much physical inventory, unlike other businesses. This cuts down the time that you need to spend on ordering supplies, rotating them, etc. The main focus is keeping what? The washers and the dryers running properly and making sure that the laundry soap, and if you've got any additional revenue streams like vending machines, anything like that, you want to make sure those stay stocked. Number four, pro, few customer complaints. I wish I could say that about my dental office, but I can't. But as most laundromats are self-service, not like the dental industry, the only time complaints are typically seen is what? When something's wrong with the equipment, right? If it's not working properly, or if somebody is washing their clothes or drying their clothes and become damaged, they could get a complaint there. Once the coins are processed in the machine, then the transaction is complete. And this really helps to cut down on where returns must be processed, or if a customer changes their minds about making a purchase. So once they pay, that's it. End of story. Number five, not seasonal or weather dependent. As some businesses are seasonal, laundromats aren't. People always need to do their laundry, so there's not a lot of ups and downs depending on the season or the weather or anything like that. Number six, this is what I really like, unlimited growth potential. Depending on the owner's preference, laundromats can be operated in multiple different ways. Now, one could want only maybe one location providing service to just that neighborhood, operating on a small scale. Another may want a larger scale, larger business, multiple locations, this makes the growth potential of laundromats really unlimited. Literally like any business. I'm a single practice owner here. I operate my practice one location. We do have one little satellite we don't do surgeries out of, but I could also do the same thing. I could do a larger scale, multiple locations, have people work for me. So it just depends on what type of growth you want for a laundromat. Number seven, laundromats can be very recession resistant. No matter really what the stock market's doing, it's up, down, stagnant, whatever, your customers still need to clean their clothes. And it's for this reason laundromats are typically going to be considered a recession resistant business. Number eight, laundromats can provide, like any other real estate, excellent tax benefits. Laundromat owners, just like real estate owners, like with the hotels and apartments that we own in syndications, take a big advantage of depreciation due to the initial equipment purchases that you have to have, and if you own the building, that sort of thing too. Other example could be deductible expenses, your energy, gas, water, that sort of thing. Also, excellent tax benefits. Number nine, high return on investment. Now, overall, as a whole, the laundry industry has roughly a 25 to 35% ROI, or return on investment. As most average new business startups typically fail within the first year or two, laundromats have a much higher survival rate even at the 5 year mark. And last but not least, selling laundromats is very easy. There's become a very big high demand to owning a laundromat these days. Really depends on what area of the country that you live in. And this makes it possible for current laundromat owners to, whenever they're ready to sell their business, they can sell it, not really having to worry about having to find an owner, a buyer. So that's all the list of the pros. Now let's get into the cons over here. As with any business, owning a laundromat comes with, of course, its share of risk, and one of them being, as these are becoming more and more popular, thus the competition is getting higher. Now, as an owner, you'll be competing against other area laundromats, of course, and depending on where your facility is located and the demographics of the neighborhood that you're in, there may be already a lot of laundromats there to begin with. So that's number one. Number two, there could be a high initial startup cost. Probably out of everything, this probably keeps most of the people from actually moving forward with this, because cost estimates can be anywhere from 150,000 to $300,000 or more, depending on what size laundromat you go with and your location. After a location is selected, then you must choose whether, if you want to purchase the building or rent the building. And you also need to consider purchasing either new or used washing machines, dryers, or if you have some there, there's some different ways that you can upgrade the equipment too. Number three, unpredictable demands. As a business owner that deals with the public, which you might as well, you're going to occasionally be faced with meeting the public's unpredictable demands. Now, unless you have an on-site manager, then you're going to be required to respond to any type of emergency that comes up or some type of customer complaint, day or night. This is also true of somebody that really owns any type of real estate, whether you have a single family home, self-storage, or apartments. Unless you have an on-site owner, you're going to be the ones that have to handle these complaints and sometimes these unpredictable demands. Number four, you may be responsible for either clothing that's left unattended, or whether it's a few hours or whether it's a few days or even longer. One of the most common issues that laundromat owners have, it involves customers that basically they'll go there, they'll wash their clothes or dry their clothes, they'll leave and they'll come back. Again, sometimes this could be several hours. They may be forgetting it several days. I can't tell you if I've ever gone into a laundromat before whenever we were doing our clothes and there wasn't either somebody's basket there unattended, or clothing, a sock, a pair of shorts, blue jeans, something like that. There's just scattered on the floor. It seems like it's always something like that. And occasionally these types of customers, they may come back, they see something's missing, they may hold the owner responsible. Now, it's for this reason that owners, they must always inform their customers that, whether it's signage or whatever, that they're not to leave their items unattended because they're not responsible for it. Just like the days that we have our nurse anesthetist in our office, the the patient is told that they must have a driver to drive them home, even though sometimes they think they can, sit it out and drive home. This is a Louisiana, of course, but that's the thing, that we screen these people and tell them no ride, no treatment. Just like a laundromat, if you leave your clothes or unattended or whatever, you're at risk. It's not their responsibility. Number 5, you have a possibility of having some high capital expenses. Now, in order to stay relevant, as you can imagine, laundromats must keep their equipment up to date. This could be through upgrades or new equipment, whatever, to keep up with the expectation and the servicing demands of the customers. Now, the average laundromat typically upgrades equipment every 14 to 15 years. Now, some owners choose to wait just until machines break down, which also can cause fewer customers to use their facility. So, bottom line is, if you want to continue to provide good value for your customers, just like, again, if you own a self-storage facility, single family home, apartments, anything like that, you don't want to let your equipment or furnishings or whatever to get so out of date that nobody wants to use them. Number 6, you must be mechanically inclined to maximize your profits. Now, my dad told you probably before on a couple of other videos. If you're new to this channel, then this will be the first time you've heard this, but he actually owns a hardware store here in town. And he received the quote, "know how to fix anything" gene at birth. I, on the other hand, didn't get that passed down to me. So if you're like me and you're not mechanically inclined, then the laundromat business might not be the best idea for you. Because when equipment breaks, it's much cheaper if you're an owner to fix it versus having somebody else do it. So not only can competition be high, but the sustainable cost can be high as well. Again, unless you've got a maintenance person or a handy on-site manager. And last but not least, self-storage laundromats are still, for the most part, coin operated. Most laundromats, they require their customers to use coins in order, of course, to use their equipment, wash a load of laundry, dry a load of laundry, whatever. Now, unless owners have a change machine on the premises, they may end up losing customers. Now, as a general rule, it's to have one change machine available for every 300 square feet of space in the building. Now, I know more and more of the laundromats that are in more upscale areas, they can do credit cards, that sort of thing. But for the most part, they're still, most of them, coin operated. So if you're looking for an extra income source in a business that has few customer complaints, is recession resistant, with an unlimited potential for growth, then you may want to consider owning a laundromat. Again, as with any type of investment, there's always risk involved, especially with real estate. So make sure that you consider all the pros and all the cons that we talked about today to help you make the best decision. Speaking of best, if you want to learn the best way to invest your money, only if you want to become rich, of course, then what I want you to do is check out this video right over here, and I'll see you there.